I probably wasn't going to get Claudie today because my mom had to work. Well, she likes Claudie too, so we went and got her. And here she is from her little Mary Jane shoes, which are so cute. Up her little, like, Wizard of Oz Dorothy kind of looking dress. To her gorgeous new face mold. It's kind of, I feel like, I can't tell if it's a cross between the Josefina and Corinne or the McKenna and Corinne. But either way, it's got a lot of Corinne in it, which means I love it because Corinne is like my favorite face mold. Yeah, so here she is. If you're wondering why this isn't an unboxing and she's not in the box, there was an employee at the store who was like, are you going to leave her in the box or are you going to open her? I was like, I'm going to open her. She was telling me she was the only employee who didn't get to see Claudie before she was released. And so she was really excited. She hadn't gotten to like really look at her. So it was basically like, hey, you know what? As long as we keep the hairnet on, like, go for it. And she was so excited. She loves the Corinne mold too. So that was just a really nice moment. And so Claudie actually got opened at the store at the counter while I was checking out. So here she is. I'll take the hairnet off in a minute so you can see her gorgeous curls. But first we're gonna kind of do a breakdown. So she's got these kind of Mary Janes, and they don't really have a heel. They're just kind of the normal-ish, like, not like the ones Samantha and Nellie had, but not as high-heeled as the ones Ruthie had. So maybe similar to, I want to say, Mary Ellen in terms of their height. I don't know if that's the best comparison, but American Girl has a lot of shoes like this. And some pretty basic socks. And they went back to the old bloomers, which is so cool. Which, granted, they haven't had, like, I'm trying to think of the oldest doll. I think I know they did a Caroline being 1812 back in 2012. So I don't know. Other than that, they've all really been modern girls. And I know Claudie was only like 100 years ago. But still, you know, this is pretty old-fashioned for American Girl. So I am very impressed. So then we have, as I said, this like plaid kind of checkered dress. And it's nice. It is Velcro in the back. The buttons do not work. They're just aesthetic. They're just for decoration. We have this mint green sweater. And we're going to get to my thoughts on the meat outfit in a minute. I just figured I'd go over everything. So Claudie's lips kind of remind me of a lighter version of Truly Me number 80's lips. So not quite lipstick, but I maybe lip gloss-esque. And Claudie's skin tone looks a lot, usually it's opposite. Usually the dolls look like less warm with my lighting, but Claudie I actually feel like looks a little lighter, although again, maybe that's, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I feel like her skin tone is a little richer and lighter on the camera, just so you know, but the clothes look pretty similar. And it's worth noting, so she's got the feathered eyebrows. I don't know if you can tell. There we go. And then she has the painted on eyelashes above and below. And I do think they're very pretty and they look very good on her. But I know that a lot of people are going to be disappointed because she kind of looks like she's wearing makeup and she's a little girl. But I think she pulls it off a lot better than McKenna, who, by the way, has an unboxing coming. I got her a few months ago and it just, the editing for that video, every time I try it, the iPad crashes. So, I mean, it's coming at some point. All right, so now before we get my full, like, thoughts and review and whatever, we're going to take her wig cap off. Okay, so I'm re-recording for 3 reasons. One, in my first version, I kept calling the hairnet that goes over the doll wigs, this thing. I kept calling it a wig cap, which would be confusing because that is not the correct terminology. 2, the process of removing said hairnet was pretty difficult, and I had to cut out some of it and put down the camera so I could fix it. And 3, the second time I tried recording it, my device crashed and it looks like it didn't save the video. So hopefully 3rd time's the charm. So here's what happened. It looks like, and I don't know if it's just mine or if it was an accident or if the factory is just doing this, but basically someone put the hairnet on over the wig and then put the hair bow on top of that. So it was almost impossible to take her hair out of the hairnet without, 1, messing up her little ringlet curls like the ones that Cecile and Felicity have. 2, without messing up her other curls, which kept wanting to get tangled in the hairnet. And 3, without like taking off the bow or ripping out a bunch of her hair. So be very careful. I'm glad that the hairnet was removed by me at my house instead of at the store, because it might have been really bad if, you know, it had just come off and her hair might have been really damaged. But overall, the impact seems pretty minimal. I was very careful. I had to tear the hairnet around the bow, make a big gaping hole to get it off. Let me see if I can show you. Because yeah, it was like just something you'll want to watch out for. I don't know if you can see some of the hole there. And it wasn't like the bow was in the middle. Like it seemed very deliberate. See, there's part of the hole. I think there's a bigger one in here. But yeah, that's just something to keep in mind, especially if you're getting Claudie for a child who might just pull it off. And if you're trying to preserve the hair, you got to be very careful. And I'm probably going to end up taking mine out of the bow because it is a little messed up here, like the hairstyle, from having to tear the hairnet out. Now we can move on to the rest of her. So I really like her meat outfit. It's not as extravagant as some of the other dolls' meat outfits or some of the other items in Claudie's collection, but I hear that it is historically accurate. I do wish the color scheme had been a little more unique. I mentioned that in my reaction video, and seeing her like on display with Melody made me realize, like, why did they design them so similarly? It's not completely similar, but I think it's just striking enough that you'll notice it, but not so much that it'll frustrate most people. It was just something I noted. Then you can see here she's got the feathered eyebrows, and I don't remember if I already mentioned her lips, but they kind of look a little glossy, so not completely natural, but not like she's full on wearing lipstick. Now, a lot of people are probably going to be frustrated by the eyelash mascara thing. So American Girl has been doing this on quite a few dolls, all 3 of the World by Us, Corinne, and now Claudie. And I think that's it. I could be wrong. Oh, and okay, Nanea has some like extra eyelashes thrown on, but they're definitely, or drawn on, but they're not as prominent as these. So that's just worth noting. If it really frustrates you, I know some people actually go and like repaint the dolls or scrub these off or something. I really don't think it's a problem. I think it looks pretty good on Claudie. Again, I do know that a lot of people are like, they're little girls, they shouldn't be wearing makeup, which I agree if the doll looks like a little girl like McKenna, but I feel like a lot of the dolls look much older, and American Girl sells like cars and portrays them as working at spas, so I don't think all of them are meant to be like super young. So it's not a huge problem, but that might just be me because I usually will have them in like stop motions or from messing around with them, I kind of picture them as teenagers. So it varies from person to person. If it really bugs you, again, you can repaint her or just not get her. And yeah, that's basically her. I think she's adorable. I love her face mold, and I love that, I don't care if I mentioned this already because, again, I had to record, but I like that Claudie actually looks like an American Girl doll, because where McKenna, she didn't really, her face mold was like entirely unique. Claudie's is a beautiful amalgamation of several of the other face molds, like kind of the wideness of the classic mold, and maybe not as wide as the Addie mold, but I feel like the foreheads are a little similar, and she has a lot of Corinne in the shape of her nose and her eyes and her chin, but the cheeks are kind of somewhere in between Josefina and which one is it? The Sonali mold. But then we kind of see a little bit of the Joss in the nose, like somewhere between Corinne and Joss. So I think she's pretty adorable, and I think she's worth getting, especially if you were already excited about her. The doll is not going to disappoint. She might even exceed your expectations. If you were kind of on the fence, I could see how her eyelashes or the difficulties with the hairnet or the similarities in her meat outfit or face mold or wig to other dolls like Melody or Cecile might be a deterrent, but I definitely recommend her.